Welcome one, welcome all to season 31 of the Castrol GTX Cup Series as we are here today. As always, the season starts, of course, at Daytona International Speedway as we are here today for the running of the Gatorade Twin 125 qualifying races. The races leading up to the races that will set the rest of the starting field for the Daytona 500, this opening race of the season. Excuse me. As we'll have two 20-lap races here today. This is race number 1. This is all the cars that are settle the odd number starting positions, and of course race 2 will settle the even number starting positions. And as always, the front row is locked in for the Daytona 500. The front row this year, wouldn't you know it? It's actually the Dillons that have the front row for the 500. Poteet and Young are your front row for this season's Daytona 500. And of course, this being race number 1, you know, Dylan Poteet's the guy on the pole for the 500 this season, qualifying at over 196 miles an hour for the pole. He has the pole for the race number 1, by the way, to number 22 Caterpillar Dodge. He's alongside number 19 Ryan Brommer, the Dodge dealer's Dodge. So it's an all Dodge front row. Actually, it's an all Dodge front row for the 500 itself as well too. Second row has Paul Minnick. He's moved to the number 48 Lowe's team this season. He's alongside number 16. That is John Andrews, who's moved over to the Jack Roush team this season, number 16 National Guard Ford. Third row has a rookie, Ryan Bouchard, the number 29 Goodwrench Service Chevrolet, one of the two Goodwrench cars in the field this season. He's alongside number 41. It is Wes Mccoy, who's driving the Dodge for Chip Ganassi Racing this season, the Target Dodge. Fourth row has number 10, that is Matt McIntyre of Abilene Pontiac. He's alongside number 12, that is Zach Winkle, former Daytona 500 winner himself, the Alltel Dodge, excuse me. Next row down has car number 42, that is Kyle Matthews, the Texaco Haviland Dodge. He's alongside another Haviland car, the number 28. Excuse me. Alongside another Haviland car, Texaco Haviland car, the number 28 machine of Kat Batson. Her car is the Ford. Going to row number 6, it is, row number 6, it is number 99, that is Levi McIntyre, the Office Depot Ford. And beside him, number 6, that is Ryan George, the Viagra Ford. Row number 7 has number 31, that is, that is number 31, that is James Sykes in the Singular Wireless Chevrolet. He's alongside number 1, that is Clint Buchanan, the Pennzoil Chevrolet. And by the way, no, he's no relation to Zach Buchanan, by the way. He's no relation to him. Going to the next row down has number 18, Nathan Orman. He keeps his ride from last season, the Interstate Barriers Pontiac. And if you see that GM Goodwrench number 3, you know that's Cole Deaver, the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet car number 3. He's got Oreo on board for this race and for the Daytona 500 as well. Next row down has number 7, that is Alexander Rowe. He's back in the series this season, the Sirius Satellite Radio Dodge. He's alongside number 32, that is Zachary Fitzwater in the Tide for Pontiac car number 32. And starting shotgun the field will be car number 33, Daniel Bouchard, coming off a great top 5 finish in the points last season, driving the Oakwood Home Chevrolet car number 33, and bringing her sponsor number from the Mel Yellow Racing Series from last season. Except that was a Chevrolet she ran last season, but she's run the same numbers and sponsors on the Ford. It's Jessica Shelton, number 17, the DeWalt Tools Ford. So that's your starting lineup for race number 1 of the Gatorade Twin 125s here at Daytona International Speedway. This is the first race that will determine positions 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and on down the line to 39. As we mentioned, that will settle the odd number starting positions. The second race will settle the even number starting positions. And of course, in this race here, if anybody except for the pole sitter wins this race, then he or she will be granted third position starting position. Unless the Poteet wins, then positions will not change. Then wherever you finish, well, you'll see the lineup at the end of this video. So here's the command to fire them up.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Command's been given to fire the engines here for the race here today. 20 cars will come off the grid, and we'll be back for the start of the race right after this. So field's now running through turns number 3 and 4 right now. 20 cars are on the track right now. 20 laps of racing here in race number 1 of the Gatorade Twin 125s. Dylan Poteet and Ryan Brommer are your front row stars here. Poteet driving the same number and sponsor he'd had last season, except his car is a Dodge this season. Last season he drove a Pontiac in a series. Ryan Brommer, who moved over from the Quaker State Ford Car 26 team last season to the Dodge team this season, number 19. Green flag flies, and race number 1 of the Gatorade Twin 125s is underway here at Daytona. And upon first observation, you will notice that these cars will sound a lot different at Daytona and Talladega. They usually do, and if you watch my series. There, take a listen. Sounds almost like an Indy car, or maybe perhaps an IMSA car, possibly. But it's a different exhaust setup they have on these cars here, as I learned. They have they call them 180-degree headers is what they call them on these machines, as opposed to the straight headers that produce a deep throating sound like you'll hear at Rockingham and some of the other tracks we go to on the circuit outside of Daytona and Talladega. So that out of the way, they come to start-finish line. Who leads the first lap of the 125s is Ryan Bouchard, the number 29 machine. One of the rookies we have in this field this season. About 3 or 4 rookies we've had this running for Rookie of the Year this season. But moving into turn number 1 is the 2-time 500 winner, Kyle Matthews, the number 42 Haviland Dodge. And his buddy Levi McIntyre for the second position now as they come down the backstretch here. McIntyre with the same number and manufacturer he had last season, except he had Excite on the car last season. This season he's driving the Carl Edwards car, the number 99 Office Depot Aflac Ford. He is one of the very few, if not the only, he's one of the very few fusions in the field here. Actually, there's another fusion on the inside of him, Jessica Shelton, who started this 125 qualifier dead last, and she's already moved her way up in the top 5 in typical Shelton fashion as they come down into turn number 1 now. And the driver who started with her on that back road, Daniel Bouchard, started, as we mentioned, finished top 5 in the points last season as Alexander Rowe takes the lead now. But Bouchard, who finished top 5 in the points last season with about 3, I think it was 2 or 3 wins last season, and he hopes to go for the world. He hopes to go for the championship this season in this series. As they come to off turn number 4 here, Shelton will take the lead off turn number 4, but here comes Zachary Fitzwater in number 32, the Tide Pontiac, and here they come 3 wide. Here comes Cole Deaver. And who led that lap of the cross start finish line? I'm not sure who did here. Is it Deaver? No. Is it Fitzwater? Nope, it was Shelton who held on to lead that lap there. I should mention, too, the 125 does not count for points, by the way, so no points awarded in this race. It just determines on the rest of the starting fields we mentioned for the Daytona 500. And Cole Deaver, if you remember, the last time he was at Daytona in this series, he won the Pepsi 400, so he hopes to duplicate that in the Daytona 500, driving a 2001 Dale Earnhardt car. And of course, you'll probably know how much it's going to mean to Cole if he wins the 500 in the 2001 Dale Earnhardt car. I'm sure words will probably not describe the emotion that would fill Deaver. But he leads that lap here. Now here comes Wes Mccoy driving the number 41 car. He's driving one of 2 Dodge Chargers this season in this series here. And some of the other Dodge teams are driving Intrepids, including Ryan Brommer in the 19 and the 12 car, Zach Winkle, not Fitzwater. Where's Winkle in the 12 car? That's John Andrews and James Sykes moves to the low side as they come through turns number 3 and 4 now. Andrews, who won last season at California, up to the number 2 spot, driving the National Guard Ford this season, and moving inside, James Sykes in the newly expanded Q-Man Motorsports team. That's Quentin Moore's team, and Quentin also has a rookie driving for his team this season, and she'll be featured in race number 2 in the 125s, as will Quentin himself. They're both in the second race in the 125s, along with some of the other superstars that's in this field. Down the backstretch they come here. Nathan Orman, number 18. There he is, the Interstate Batteries machine. As you mentioned, he has the same ride from last season, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. And down through 3 and 4, he moves inside now of number 33 as Daniel Bouchard. As we mentioned, he'll take the lead on this lap. And the 500 pole sitter, Poteet, moves to the low side of Ormond. Ormond, as we mentioned, won last season at Dover, the second Dover race this season. Poteet, he came close to winning a couple of times last season, but he unfortunately went goose egg in the win column. Hopes to get back to his winning ways this season as we come to off turn number 2. Paul Minnick, he won Paul Minnick, when they didn't entire skunk him last season, he won the first Talladega race this past season. The Winston 500, which again will be race number 10 this season. And of course, we mentioned no schedule change this season, by the way, too. Except the one flip-flop in the schedule happens. Sonoma will be the race after Talladega, and California will be the race that will run before the All-Stars at Charlotte. Off turn number 2 they come. Ryan Bouchard, the rookie in this field, leads the race here. Leading 2 of the best here. Levi McIntyre, Jessica Shelton, Kyle Matthews out there behind him. Matthews is going to make a 3 wide to the left side there. He is in that black and silver 42. Off turn number 4 they come here, and as they come up, as you see Kat Batson moving to the inside, the KAB Enterprises team split. As far as the qualifying races are concerned, Kat's in race number 1. Her husband Keith is in race number 2 this season. They have the same paint schemes. They have the same paint schemes they ran last season, except done it a little bit different, I would imagine, too. Kat Batson's car driving a 2001 Ford Taurus this season. Keith Batson's car is a 2000 model, and he's driving the same cars he ran last season in the Dale Jarrett Quality Care colors. As they come into turn number 3 now, Clint Buchanan now moves to the top spot now in the Penzel Chevrolet. And as I'm looking through the roster, we have actually 5 rookies this season. The other 4, as we mentioned, Clint Buchanan, Ryan Bouchard, 2 of them, Tito McCoy, Christian Vargas, and Gabby Conklin are the 5 drivers that will be contending for Rookie of the Year that John Andrews won last season. And what was a decent rookie class in some ways too here. Some of them showed flashes of brilliance, but some of them struggled mightily throughout the season as well too. And Clint Buchanan hopes he's not the one that's going to be struggling this season. Zach Winkle, a couple of seasons ago, won the Daytona 500. Actually, last season he won the Daytona 500, I should mention. One of his, I think that was his only win last season too. I may have to double check on that. But this season driving the number 12 Alltel Dodge as teammate to Dylan Young for the Penske out of the Penske shops. Both of them 2004 Dodge Intrepids is what they'll be driving. They come off turn number 2 now. Winkle hopes this scheme he'll go back to back in the 500s as well, in the 500 this season as well too, as they snake their way down the backstretch here. Going way down the inside, leading that pack of cars here. And the inside is the 16 car of John Andrews. In the meantime, Nathan Ormond will kind of block. And they were almost 4 wide through turns through 3 and 4. That could have been disastrous right there as they come to the start finish line now. 11 laps in the books, 9 laps remaining in race number 1 of the 125s. Dandy race so far. As here comes Fitzwater for the low side in car 32. He's got the 48 car of Paul Minnick behind them. Kind of unusual to see the 48 car was somebody else besides Cody Lamas and Austin LaPlante driving the car, since they are 2 of the biggest Jimmy Johnson fans in the entire NNSCRA community. But Minnick joining up with the Hendrick Motorsports team this season, which this season is going to be a 4-car team, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a 4-car team this season. The other Hendrick cars, the 5, the 24, and the 25 cars, they are all in race number 2 this season in the 125s. So, and the 5-car this season will be Seth Cole. The 25 will still be James Henry. And the 24 will still be Charles Sanford. So, and like I mentioned, all 3 of them are in race number 2 in the 125s, which you'll see later on in this video. Fitzwater has the lead, but here comes Minnick to the inside lane here. Levi McIntyre trying to stick behind him, but here comes Kyle Matthews in 42, the Haviland Dodge. Moving inside, he has got the 19 car of Ryan Brommer, who is the outside pole sitter for the 120 for this 125 qualifier. He hopes to win or maybe even get a top 5 finish to still keep a decent spot for the starting spot for the Daytona 500. As we mentioned to you, the lineup for the full 500 lineup will be provided at the end of this video, by the way, too, to see where you're going to start in the Daytona 500 this season. Brommer now moves inside. Here comes Clint Buchanan to the inside, but here comes Ryan George. The number 6 car is going to make a 3 wide. He's got Matt McIntyre behind him. In the number 10 car, the Valvoline Pontiac. That Valvoline car was on the Ford last season. Was on the number 6 Ford last season with Zach Rogers driving. Rogers, of course, now retired from this series. Here, and of course, he had I'll say a darn good career in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. I will definitely say that a top 5, top 10 almost every season in the points. I think he was top 10 every season in the points, if not top 5 every season as well too. So Rogers, who won last season twice, I believe, that was at North Wilkesboro and Watkins Glen, may not have won a championship though, but he had as we mentioned, an excellent career as well too. So some of the guys, some of the longtime NNSCRA competitors, kind of retiring from this series, at least from this series though, but I'm not sure about some of the others. Matt McIntyre moves inside. He'll take the lead on this lap here in the Valvoline Pontiac. But here comes Cole Deaver and the GM Goodwrench Oreo Chevrolet to the low side. And they were almost 4 wide going through turns number 1 and 2. There's the Hornet's Nest back there as Jessica Shelton dives inside of the 29 car of Ryan Bouchard. She's got Ormond, Fitzwater, Poteet, and Wes McCoy all in this bunch of cars there inside now. And 3 wide, and Cole Deaver's going to take the lead through turns number 3 and 4. But here comes Poteet down the low side. Is he going to make the move on McCoy? Yes, he will. But the question is well, this ain't the finish of this race there. I was going to say the question is he going to hold on to finish there? But we've still got actually 4 laps remaining in this race. It's completed the 16th lap of this race. And again, as we mentioned, no matter where he finishes in this 125 qualifier, Poteet is already got the pole position locked down. But down the backstretch they come here. Shelton stuck in the middle now, and here comes number 18. That's Nathan Ormond in the Interstate Barriers Pontiac. As we mentioned, he won at Dover last season with that car. The second Dover race, the Peak Antifreeze 400, as Poteet leads him down to the start-finish line for now 3 laps remaining in the 125 qualifier. There's the helicopter cam. Kyle Matthews moving inside. It's going to make a 3 wide between he, Winkle, and Ormond, and takes the peak to the left side of Poteet's car. He's got McIntyre, Brommer, Alexander Rowe, Clint Buchanan, and the 48 car of Paul Megan, and 3 or 4 of them down on the apron of the tractor below the yellow line. There's no below the yellow line penalty in this series, by the way, so we can run them all over the place. Getting to the start-finish line, 2 laps to go in race number 1, the Gatorade 125 qualifiers. Here comes Alexander Rowe to the low side, car number 7, the Sirius XM Dodge. Actually, Sirius and XM didn't quite merge at that time. But as they come down the backstretch now, Buchanan to the low side. Here comes number 48, Paul Minnick. Ryan George is in there. Ryan Bouchard in the 29 car had a great qualifying run in the original 500 qualifying, and now it looks to keep a top 10 starting position if at all possible. Coming down for the white flag, 1 to go, and they're almost 3 wide. I think they're going to be 3 wide coming in turn number 1 here. Fitzwater, or I should say, not Fitzwater. Bouchard Ryan George and Paul Minnick on the low side. Ryan Butcher's going to take the lead. Here comes Matt McIntyre to the low side. Who's it going to be down the backstretch here? Here comes John Andrews to the inside. No! Here comes Daniel Bouchard in 33. Second place over this bunch here. Ryan Butcher is going to lead him in through turns 3 and 4. Can a rookie start third in this 500? Maybe so. Here they come off to number 4. Bouchard moves to the outside, but it's not going to work. Start-finish line. How about a first-time winner? Ryan Butcher wins the race number 1 of the Gatorade Twin 125s. A rookie will start third in this 500. The number 29 Goodwrench Chevrolet goes to victory lane in this first 125 qualifier. Just tremendous racing here. And look at that, 0.7 of a second separated the front. Second separated the entire field. Here, average speed 202.85 miles per hour. That's racing here, guys. Bouchard will finish second. Cat Batson will finish third. Fourth will go to James Sykes. Fifth to John Andrews. Sixth position to Zachary Fitzwater. Seventh to Clint Buchanan. Eighth to Matt McIntyre. Ninth, Cole Deaver. And Ryan Brommer ends up finishing in 10th position in this 125 qualifier. Ryan George will come in with 11th. 12th will go to Wes Mccoy. 13th, Jessica Shelton. 14th, Nathan Ormond. 15th, Paul Minnick. 16th will go to Dylan Poteet. Alexander Rowe 17th. 18th, Zach Winkle. Levi McIntyre 19th. And Kyle Matthews comes home in 20th. And they will, and so we got some big names way back in the pack here in this for the 500, starting mid to back of the pack here. Shelton, Ormond, Minnick, Poteet, Winkle, McIntyre, and Matthews. They're all going to have to win this 500 from way back in the back this season. So that's how your opposition starting positions will be determined for this 500. So we'll be back for race number 2 of the 125 qualifiers to determine the even number spots when we return.
Greg, did you have any ignition problems?
Back at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, as the cars are all lined up. No sooner than race number 1 of the Gatorade Twin 125 qualifiers. We're all done. The team started setting up and setting the cars out on the grid for race number 2 of the Gatorade Twin 125s. We got one half of the Daytona 500 lineup already set up for this season 31. So here comes the lineup for race number 2 of the other half is the even number starting position cars. And of course the man on the pole for the second 125 qualifier is Dylan Young, the defending series champion. He also is the outside pole setter for the 500, the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge. He's alongside number 26. That's Trent Dynamo. First time I think it's one of the rare times you ever see Trent in a Ford, believe it or not. But he's driving the number 26 Irwin Tools Crown Royal Ford this season. That's the McMurray scheme, and that's the only McMurray scheme that was left in the signups, and so he decided to take that. But anyway, driving the number 40 car, starting third position in this 125 qualifier is number 40. I'm repeating myself a lot. And that is Phil Parker, in the Coors Light Dodge. He's alongside Keith Batson, number 88, the Quality Care Ford Taurus, in the second row. Third row has number 4, William Brock, and number 8, that is Amanda Evans. On this row, and it's a racer formerly known as Rob Evans, by the way. So, yeah. So it's kind of one of those situations. Anyway, starting fourth row in this 125 qualifier is number 43. That's Mike Becker in the Cheerios Chex Dodge. He's alongside number 24, the DuPont Chevrolet. It's Charles Sanford. Next row down has number 45, Christian Vargas, and number 11, Cement Oscon, back for a second season in this series. Next row down has car number 38, Laura Chung will be at the wheel of this car this season as she moves to the number 38 M&M's team. She's alongside Roberto Crown Jr., who last season drove the Western Auto Chevrolet number 17. This season he drives the number 21 Motorcraft car for the Wood Brothers this season. Anyway, the next row down has number 20 Joshua Osborne, still with the Joe Gibbs team this season. Number 20 Home Depot Pontiac, but painted differently this season. As was how Tony Stewart had the car in 2002. He's alongside number 44. It's Tito McCoy. That's Wes's brother, I believe. He can correct me on that one, by the way, too. But he's driving the number 44 Georgia Pacific Papers Sparkle Dodge. Next row down has number 71. That's Gabby Conklin at the wheel of the Team Realtree Chevrolet. As Gabby will take the wheel of that car, she is beside her will be the team owner, Quentin Moore, in number 55 is Square D Chevrolet. And we already saw his other driver, James Sykes, in the very first 125 qualifier this season. And for this race here, and he qualified, actually doing very well. He'll start this 500 in 9th position, by the way. Next row down is number 5, Seth Cole, the president of the NNSCRA. This season with Hendrick Motorsports, at number 5, Kellogg's CarQuest Chevrolet. He's alongside his teammate James Henry in the Michael Holligen Chevrolet, number 25. And starting shotgun will be car number 97. That's Jesse Turner in the Sharpie Ford. He's alongside Allison Rain, the number 15 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, and it's a driver formerly known as Johnny Gardner. So that will be the starting lineup for the second race of the Gatorade Twin 125 qualifying races here at Daytona. To set the field up for the Daytona 500, to still set up the field for the last half of the starting lineup for the 500 this season. And same rule situation as it was in race number 1, as somebody other than Dylan Young wins this race, and he or she will be granted 4th position starting spot in this 500. If Dylan Young wins, then well, positions don't change. He already has the outside starting spot, outside pole position locked in. So here's the command, the fireman for race number 2.
Drivers, start those engines.
Command given the party engines as we are set for racing here today. And this should be interesting to see what happens here for the second dual race. We got quite a few stars in this second race here as the field rolls off a pit road for the pace line for the start of the race right after this. There's the field rolling through turns number 3 and 4. You got veterans on the front row for this second dual race here. Dylan Young, the defending series champion, and the champion from back in season 17, Trent Dynamo, on the outside here of this row as they come off turn number 4. 20 cars have already locked in their starting positions here, and here comes the last 20 to decide the whole thing. Pace cars on the pit road. Green flag flies, and let race 2 of the Gatorade Twin 125s commence. Into high gear they go, and on the brake goes Dylan Young in turn number 1. And he'll take the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge to the front of the field. He drove a Ford last season in this series. As they come off the second corner here, some cars starting to break away from this pack here as they come down the backstretch now. And now they're starting to fan out about 3 wide, as we saw in the first race this week already, too. As they come down the backstretch, here comes Mike Becker, number 43, to the low side, the Cheerios machine. Up to 3rd position already here as they come off the 4th turn. To complete the first lap, you got Dodge's 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Actually make that 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th now, because here comes Christian Vargas in number 45, the Sprint PCS machine. As he moves to the inside, it's the Kyle Petty colors he's driving from 2001. As they come through turns number 1 and 2, Dylan Young leads the first lap of this race here. Cement Oscon and James Henry kind of falling back a little bit to see what's going to happen here. Kind of counting on a big one happening. There's always a possibility of a big one happening also, of course, here at Daytona. And of course, not to mention, as we've heard people say in this series, in any other NNSCRA series, is that you want to kind of lay back in the pack if you choose to, in case the big one should happen at tracks like Daytona and Talladega, where there's always the possibility of. And if you remember in the series, we used to go caution-free a lot at Daytona and Talladega, but we've had seen some wrecks on those two tracks as of late of the last few seasons. And so as we always say, you never know what. So as we always say, anything can happen in a race, though, and usually does, as we always say in this series at least. But right now, Dylan Young doing a darn good job holding on to that lead right now. He does not want to give it up, but Allison Rain saying, come on, Dylan, I want to get past here. And Allison looks outside. Here comes 44, Tito McCoy to the low side, one of the rookies in the field this season. Off in the turn number 1 they go here. Dylan Young has led the first 3 laps of this 125 qualifier. 69 hundredths of a second. Separate the first 20, separate the whole field. And they're already averaging over almost 195 miles per hour in the turn number as they feel screams in the turn number 3. And look at the fastest lap of the race so far here. Here, Gabby Conklin, who's now second position, has the fastest lap race so far at over 208 miles per hour. These cars very, very fast this season here at Daytona. Gabby and James Henry both in the 208 mile an hour range here as they go through turn number 1. Keith Batson now goes to lead with the help of Charles Sanford, number 24. The rest of the field, by the way, is in at 207 mile an hour range. The rest of the top 10, I should say, in the 207 mile an hour range. As they come to the backstretch, here comes Roberto Crown Jr., number 21, the Motorcraft Ford Parts and Service Taurus. That is the 2005 Ricky Rudd car he's driving this season. Last season at 21 was Quentin Moore's car. It was because it was a Morgan Shepherd piece. And too bad for Quentin, we couldn't find a Morgan Shepherd car for the best of the 2000s that we're doing this season in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. But he did choose a Kenny Wallace number 55, and so there you have it with that. I think it's either Kenny Wallace or I think it's Bobby Hamilton. I think who the 55 actually belongs to that I'm using in this series. But anyway, Roberto Crown Jr. leads. Here comes Christian Vargas to the low side, number 45, the Sprint PCS Sprint PCS Dodge. Down the low side, he'll take the lead here. Mike Becker to the low side, number 43, the Cheerios machine. Off in the turn number 1 they go here. Mike Becker, a former 500 winner himself. At 43 cars, been in victory lane a couple of times in the Daytona 500 in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. Last time it was with Kyle Matthews driving. Back, I think it was in season 25. And in the third turn now goes Seth Cullen, car number 5, the Kellogg's CarQuest machine. Giving Tony the Tiger quite a ride here off turn number 4. That is a 2007 Casey. No, that's a 2008. 2008 Chevrolet he's driving. Field using that apron on the track here down the backstretch here. As we mentioned, no out of bounds rule in this here. And here they go. Oh my God, they're going to go 4 wide to turn number 3. Allison Rain pushing Jesse Turner up the track as they come off turn number 4 now. And Allison with that power move makes it 4 wide. A gutsy move, no question about it. But boldness produced fruit in Allie's case. And Allison goes to the lead now. And Amanda Evans, Allison's teammate, goes to second place, the 15-8. That used to be a very feared scene at Daytona and Talladega. Was the 15-8 picking it up? Back in the old DEI days, they come on the backstretch here, and here comes Dylan Young moving to the low side here. He's got Keith Batson and Charles Sanford both behind him, the 88 and the 24 cars. Young moves low side. Here comes Young with a full head of steam in the back of Allison Rain's car, but here comes Keith Batson to the low side, number 88. Blue cars, first, second, and third. Here comes Charles Sanders, going to add a little splash of red into that bunch. Charles, a winner of only one race last season, and that came at Sonoma. He hopes to get back in the championship contention this season here in the series. If I can talk, that would be dangerous. He has a championship already in this series, and that came in season 15. But he hopes to contend for another one again here as they come off the fourth turn. The man they call the California Crusher in the wheel, the DuPont colors. As they come on back to the front stretch now, here comes Trent Dynamo. We all know about him in Daytona here. He has a love-hate relationship with this track. He does have a Snickers Cup Series Daytona 500 championship, though, in hand. So at least he has that there, but he hopes to get a Castrol Cup Series Daytona 500 himself as well here this season. Excuse me. He has a Daytona win in a series that came way back in season 5 in the Pepsi 400 when he drove the Jeff Gordon cars to victory lane in that race. But Trent hopes to get a McMurray car into the victory lane in Daytona sometime. If not the 500, he hopes to do so in the 400 like McMurray did back in 2007. And in my book, the best Daytona finish of the two. Here's screw the 500 finish from that year is all I can say. But anyway, but now Laura Chung now goes to the top spot in car number 38 now. Cement Oscon had second place there, but now he's stuck in the middle now. Joshua Osborne goes to second place now in the 20 Home Depot Pontiac. Joshua, kind of a hard luck driver in some ways too, in the manner that he came on strong last season, though. He finished in, I think almost top, if not top 10, he was darn close to it. But could not seem to find the key to victory lane last season, though. He came on strong, as we mentioned, and Joshua hopes that momentum carries on too, because maybe possibly get a win before the season's out this season here, maybe, and like everybody else is come and go for the championship here, as is Quentin Moore in the 55 car. And Quentin will tell you he was not satisfied with his results this past season in the Castrol GTX Cup Series, as he was well down in points here. Quentin didn't get skunked last season. However, Quentin didn't get skunked last season, though. He still won the 600 at Charlotte last season, though, and that was a big win for Quentin and that team. But the season 26 champion, hoping to regain his championship form. He's in second position right now behind Joshua Osborne, who leads this race in the Tony Stewart colors. William Brock is in third position, Amanda Evans in fourth, and Dylan Young, the defending series champion, in fifth position now. And here comes the Q-Man to the low side, the Square D Chevrolet to the low side. 3 wide there. Dylan Young's going to take a 3 wide between he, Evans, and Brock, and takes the third position. Second position now. Here comes the inside of Osborne. Here comes Dylan. Here comes Keith Batson, Mike Becker, Charles Sanford, all behind him, and Tito McCoy in the 44 car to the low side. And the Q-Man led that lap. Though, again, this race does not count for points, so the 500 will count for points to start this 34 race championship season that will start at Daytona and end at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Napa Auto Parts 500. As they come down the backstretch here, and that's another thing we should discuss as well too. What the schedule is going to look like for those of you who are first in the series here. We go to Daytona first, then Rockingham's race number 2. Third race will be Richmond. Fourth race will be Atlanta. Fifth race will be Darlington. Race 6 will be at Texas. Race 7, 8, and 9 will all be on a short track, as Keith Batson goes to the lead now, tries to go for the lead. Race 7 will be at Bristol. 8 will be at North Wilkesboro. Race 9 will be at Martinsville. Race 10 will be at the Winston 500 at Talladega. Race 11 will be at Sonoma. Race 12 will be at California. Race 13 will be at Charlotte, though. We will go to the Winston, also race at Charlotte. Then the 13th race of the season will be the 600 at Charlotte. Race 14 will be at Dover. Race 15, the second road race of the season, which will be at Riverside. Race 16 will be at Pocono. Race 17, the halfway point, will be at Michigan. Then we go back here to race number 8, race number 18, the Pepsi 400, which will be run under the lights this season as well, too, as always. Race 19 will be at New Hampshire. Race 20 will be back to Pocono. Race 21 will be the final plate race of the season at Talladega. Race 22 will be at Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. Race 23, the final road race of the season at Watkins Glen. Race 24 at Michigan. Race 25 will be the night race at Bristol. Race 26 at Darlington for the Southern 500. Race 27 will be at Richmond. The final nighttime short track race of the season. Actually, the second to last nighttime short track race of the season. Race 28 will be back to Dover for the Peak Antifreeze 400 as Allison Rain goes to the lead now. Race 29 will be the nighttime race at Martinsville. Race 30 will be back to North Wilkesboro for the final short track race of the season for the Holly Farms 400. Race 31 will be back to Charlotte for the Mellow Yellow 500. The final nighttime race of the season. Then race 32 will be the AC Delco 400 at Rockingham. Race 33 will be at Phoenix. And then finally the finale at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Napa Auto Parts 500. So I hope you followed that whole thing. And as I try to explain the whole season schedule as fast as I can, and my throat hurts actually from doing that now. So anyway, and I think my head hurts as well too. But anyway, off to number 4 now. We're about to come down for 2 laps to go. We've had quite a few late changes. Tito McCoy trying to do what we saw Ryan Bouchard did in the first race of the 125, trying to pull up an upset here as he leads them down now with now 18 laps in the books and 2 laps remaining in the second 125 qualifier. But here comes James Henry with Seth Cole behind him, Hendrick teammates. To the low side, Quentin Moore's in there. Keith Batson's getting into it. So is Charles Sanford. Backstretch now, Seth Cole makes a move to the low side. But here comes the Q-Man, Quentin Moore to the low side for the lead. And he's going to make a 3 wide with Keith Batson down there as well, too, in the 88 machine. Who's gonna be the one that wins the second 125 qualifier? Off to number 4, the white flag waves. 1 lap remaining in race number 2 of the Gatorade Twin 125s. Quentin Moore trying to hold him off. He deploys first. Second position, but here comes Sanford. He's going to move quick up the track. Charles Sanford, the DuPont Chevrolet, goes to the top spot now. Now what's everybody else going to do back there? Amanda Evans is in there. Here comes Christian Vargas. He's another rookie in this field. He's trying to get a 125 with himself. Are we going to have 2 rookies win this 125 qualifiers? Well, we'll see. We saw Ryan Bouchard do it in race number 1. Here comes Dylan Young to the low side for the start-finish line. They come short. Christian Vargas makes it a rookie sweep in the 125 qualifiers. How about that? If this says anything, we're going to have a strong rookie class this season. If this says anything. Unbelievable. Christian Vargas gets the win. Second place will go to Dylan Young. Third place will go to Phil Parker. Fourth to Amanda Evans. Fifth position will go to Gabby Conklin. Charles Sanford 6th. Seventh will go to Keith Batson. Eighth to Roberto Crown Jr. Ninth to Quentin Moore. And 10th position will go to Joshua Osborne. Average speed 205.178. Boy, just tremendous here. 29,000th of a second was the margin of victory. 11th on down, Mike Becker finishes 11th. Seth Cole 12th. William Brock 13th. James Henry 14th. 15th, Allison Rain in car number 15. Trent Dynamo 16th. Wes Mccoy 17th. Or Tito McCoy, I should say, 17th. 18th to Jesse Turner. 19th, Samant Ozcon. Laura Chung will finish dead last in this race here. So congratulations again to our winners of the 125 qualifier. Ryan Bouchard in race number 1 and Christian Vargas in race number 2. Just an absolute tremendous race. I tell you, we're going to have some tremendous racing in the 125s this season, in the Daytona 500 this season. I will about get flat guarantee of that. So that will do it here today. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on this channel. We got NR races, we got NR races, we got gaming videos, we got NR online videos. Whatever the president of the NNSCRA, Seth Cole, desires to have for his channel. Excuse me. Be sure to check out our other two NNSCRA series in this series: the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series from Thrash Mania 899, and the NNSCRA Spectrum Mobile Cup Series from X8675309-858X. And as we mentioned, the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series from the man himself, Seth Cole, also on this channel as well too. So be sure to check out check out every series that we have in the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel cavalcade that we have here. So that will do it here today at Daytona National Speedway. For now, this is James Qualls. We will give you the lineup for the Daytona 500 at the end of this video. And for now, this has been a production of the NNSCRA celebrating 10 years of off-road racing at its best. We will see you for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500.